We're starting today by talking to 2012 Olympic medalist and ex-professional boxer Anthony Agogo. He made the headlines this week when he called out homophobic abuse targeted at his sister.
It's one of a number of stories that have made the news recently that have shown the prejudice the LGBT plus community still face in Britain.
And Anthony is here now to tell us why he chose to stand up and defend his sister. And alongside him, a familiar face if you're a Coronation Street fan, Charlie Kondo, who plays Marcus, but who in real life is a campaigner and supporter for gay rights and equality. And welcome to both of you. Let's start with you, Anthony, first of all. You've got four sisters. Joanne, she's 34. She asked you to conduct the ceremony for her to be wife. You felt very, very honoured when she asked you.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of things in my life, my career, a lot of things to be proud of, but being asked to walk my sisters down the aisle and or conduct a wedding ceremony matches right up there with my own wedding. So I was so unbelievably honoured to marry my sister to a beautiful, my new sister-in-law. And yeah, it was an amazing day. It really was such an amazing, amazing day.
Perfect day.
It was, yeah.
And so you decided that because you'd all had such a lovely time, you would post the video.
Yeah, I mean, I was, like, so proud. I was proud that my sister's gone through a real tough couple of years with some other personal things, found the love of her life. I'm proud that she stood there and she said some vows to her and those vows were repeated back to her, and she's just happy. And her two little boys are there watching, like, super proud. The whole family was so proud. I was so proud of that, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna share this on my social media, which you do when a loved one gets married.
Absolutely, everybody does it.
And plus, I was kind of half picking up my registrar skills as well.
Why not? But the thing is, you post this, like you said, a perfectly normal thing to do, but it's what you noticed then, and you noticed that your number of followers had fallen.
Yeah, and that, you know, and that annoyed me. That did not the followers. The followers is that's relevant. The fact that people saw my tweet and felt angry, upset, you know, annoyed by it, that they thought, I'm not going to follow him anymore, and pressed the unfollow button. Now, that annoyed me, that they've seen, like, two people in love. Now, they happen to be the same sex. That's upset them so much that they thought, I'm not going to follow him anymore. That, to me, in the year 2019, is just... It's laughable that we're sitting here today talking about this in this current time. It really is.
And so, did they say anything? Were they saying anything? Did they say anything to her?
I mean, I think I've had a few comments, a few things that that's not right. That's somebody said, actually, and a family member said that's an abomination. A family member decided not to go to the wedding because they didn't believe in it. Do you know what? Yeah, I think the fact that I'm a boxer and I can look after myself kind of helps. The fact I don't get a lot of abuse from certain people.
Yeah.
But you know, I saw that and that really upset me because.
Yeah,
I'm so happy my sister, that she's happy, she's found somebody that she loves and they love her. They've taken her boys on as their own children and, that should be celebrated.
It should
be. Not looked down upon.
Well, the thing is that in a similar case, Scarlett Moffatt celebrated World Pride Day in New York. She lost followers after posting pictures of her at the event. She posted, "It makes me so sad that since posting yesterday about my support of the LGBT community, I've lost over 7,000 followers." Wow. 7,000 people decided not to follow because she went.
Mine was a snippet compared to that, but yeah, no, that's such a shame. I said in this day and age, the fact that people get upset by it still makes me furious.
You've been quite surprised that from the boxing world, which is seen as kind of very alpha male world, that you've had an incredible amount of support, actually.
Yeah, and you know what, like, I'm a very positive person. I always tend to look on the positive side of any situation, and I've been blown away by the support I got since doing that tweet. I did a tweet saying I've lost all those followers, and I'm just saddened. I feel sad for those people.
You also said that, you know, listen, I don't want you following me in the first place.
Yeah, I think I did a middle finger emoji as well, which will skirt around. But, yeah, I don't want those people following me. They're not people I want to call fans or supporters of mine. I don't want you, but I've been really, really blown away by the boxing fraternity that have really supported me and said some lovely things to me, and you said boxing is known as a very, very macho sport.
Charlie, sadly, this doesn't surprise you at all, does it?
It really doesn't, I'm afraid, and it's something that we experience a lot, and I think this is part of the problem. This is why I think educating people at the moment is so relevant. I mean, we've seen what's happening in Birmingham with people protesting outside schools. The fact is that it's really important that we teach people that essentially what we're talking about is love. We're talking about two people that love each other. There is nothing to fear. That's all it is. It's very simple.
Very simple.
And yet some people seem very afraid or angry or whatever. I work with a charity called Diversity Role Models that go into school to talk about anti-homophobic bullying. And I spoke to a group of teenage boys who were clearly quite homophobic. And I said, well, what would you do if one of your male friends said that he fancied you? These boys were outraged and they said, well, I'd kick his head in and I'd get, beat him up or whatever. And I said, OK, well, obviously, that's an option. You can do that. Or you could say, well, thank you, I'm really flattered, but I'm not gay. And you could see these kids kind of going, oh, right, it doesn't have to be met with aggression. It can just be a simple, that's not for me.
There's a story that was... I spotted this, first of all, on the Sky News app this morning. LGBT bullying is the most common type of bullying in schools, more than racism, sexism and religion, according to research. 71% of teachers have witnessed homophobic bullying in school. 35% claim to have observed homophobic bullying at least once a month. When it comes to education, the poll showed that 25% of children should not learn about gay relationships in schools. 16% were unsure. Now, you say it is all about education. When you are born, you are accepting of everything.
That's right.
You are innocent. This is all learned behaviour.
It's learned behaviour. Prejudice is something that we are taught. We're naturally accepting, and I have kids myself, and I see them about everything. They accept the world that it is, and I think a lot of children are often avatars for their parents or outside influences, and they're taught to hate. And this is why I think, again, it's so important that we teach people that it's just love. It's just a different way. And if it's not for you, that's great. You can't teach somebody to be gay or trans or whatever it is. You can't... there is no agenda here. You can't make somebody.
Yeah.
But it's a fact of
There will
the world,
always
and it's
be
important people
religious
know
differences, though. Many people say that they feel affronted because of religious beliefs. How do you breach that?
I'm not a religious person at all. And again, I think religion is taught in schools. All types of religion are taught in schools. And I think that's great. I think everybody should be able to believe in whatever they want. But I don't believe that any of the... I think people take certain elements that fit their belief system. So they will often say, oh, well, it says in the Bible that this should happen. It says a lot of things in the Bible that we now know to be ridiculous. You shouldn't wear mixed fibres or, work on a Friday. All of these things. There are lots of things the Bible says that are kind of, in this day and age, we think is slightly ridiculous. So,
I was reading, and it's sad to read, actually, that you said there are still places where you won't walk down the street, or you never walk down the street holding your husband's hand for fear that you might get some sort of abuse towards you.
Yeah, I don't think it's a conscious thing necessarily. It's just something that when you've been brought up... people often say, oh, why do we need pride all the time? Why haven't we got a straight pride? Well, when situations like, for example, a couple of weeks ago, a lesbian couple were beaten up on a bus just because they were there together. This is the kind of thing that we face every day, and so it's not... I don't consciously think, well, I'm not going to hold Cameron's hand in case something happens. It's just there. You can feel that it's possibly inviting some sort of abuse.
Are we a long, long way away from that sort of subconscious feeling ever leaving?
I don't know. I'm a different generation. I'm 46 now, and I think a lot of younger gay people are a lot braver than perhaps we were or are, and the world is changing. But I think there's always going to be prejudice. That doesn't mean that we should ever stop fighting for acceptance and equal rights. But I think it's something that continues to happen.
It saddened me this morning when I read those statistics, because you can understand it's a generational thing, and there are many generations because it is such a big leap in their minds that they can't quite make that leap. But of all the generations, the younger generation now, much more understanding, and much more, give me your respect, much more thoughtful about the environment. You would like to believe that they were much more thoughtful about each other because of the mistakes that their parents, us, that we might have made. But that made me sad that it's still there.
It is sad, and I think we've got so far to go, and that's why it's so important for people like Anthony, who, as a straight male, but also coming from such a kind of macho world as the boxing world, it's really important that we have allies like you who stand up and say, you know what, I'm going to call this out as well. It's all very well for us in the LGBT community waving our flags and trying to make a change. But sometimes we need a bit of support.
Yeah, well,
So
well done
thank you for
and
that.
will you say congratulations to your sister and her new
I
wife
shall
and
do.
send them our
Absolutely.
love? All right, thank you.
both.
Thank you both very much.